It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Los Reyes Mexican Grill, Leslie at Nicholson. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff along with Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro. Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio. Matt Humans will be with us today from Las Vegas. We'll also be talking with Sean Ostro from the Sports Bettors Alliance. There is a bill in the Louisiana, a law up to basically raise the taxes on sports gambling in Louisiana.
Slightly,
we'll talk with
15%
just double.
to 32.5%.
Yeah, just
more than double.
More than double. So
it's going on Monday, and I mean, it's just it does benefit the NIL budgets for the state schools.
Okay, well, so
the
we'll
NIL
hear,
budgets. I mean, I'm being hypocritical. The player budgets, which we call NIL, which have nothing to do with NIL.
You weren't being hypocritical. You were being accurate. You say tomato, I say tomato. Did you check with Colucci this morning? Is he going to be with us today? I thought that the party
Derby weekend. He's raring to go.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that the party didn't run a little too late last night when the Lakers lost and they were able to cash out all of those futures. I know every bookmaker in Las Vegas was like, okay, kind of excited about that because their biggest liability, one of their biggest liabilities was the Lakers to win the title.
City leaders are trying to adjust as we speak on, the parade, the championship parade, the coronation of J.J. Redick as, mayor. Max, how long ago were we giving him credit? Is that how it was? We have to give him credit, J.J. Redick, on what was it? He's like 3 games in.
It wasn't that far in, but they got off to a good start. I thought that, things were going well when Luka joined. But, yeah, I mean, he certainly has a lot of faults from this series.
They had the 8th best record in the league from the Luka trade to the end. Okay. And they were a 3 seed. It's not bad. It's not,
Exactly. It's very average. It's very average.
They needed a center.
Given the hand, what's that?
They needed a center. They didn't have a center. The Mark Williams trade got rescinded.
Go. You traded away a center.
Well, they had a deal in place for Williams, and it fell through on the physical. So I'll give them credit for trying to make a move that didn't.
Okay, but you
happen.
traded away your big guy. I mean, you can't understand why. And then your lineup last night. And now he's getting testy with the media. I mean, no, he's got a long way to go. And we were way premature on this. This was a joke, man. It was way too premature of all the praise that he was getting. I mean, you got to give J.J. Redick credit. I really like J.J. Redick. I mean, what sample size do we have? The tail end of an NBA regular season where they're putting more emphasis on winning games than the average team?
Where were they when they made the trade? What
6th or 7th seed.
Okay.
No, they moved up.
Yeah.
They moved up, but, I mean, you see what the seeding meant. Huh?
My deal is this, and I'm going to push Redick to the side for a second and talk about the front office. I would have done this deal if they'd have told me Luka was out for the season, okay, just for the future benefits of the deal. But
the future,
yeah. But in the short term, do you think they would have beaten the Minnesota Timberwolves if they don't make the trade?
They would have had a better chance.
Okay, I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion that yes, they definitely would have won.
Don't know.
Yeah, first thing is I don't know if AD's if he misses
my
the same
money's on
amount
him
of time.
go past 5 games.
Yeah, but do they even get to that point? Because Davis missed how many games in Dallas? He missed, 80% of the games the rest of the season? So are they even in that in that position? Are they playing somebody different? I don't know. I would have done the deal for the long term. In the short term,
and
I expected him to get out of the first round, but I didn't expect him to win the title.
I mean, they gave Palenka the
Executive of the Year.
Executive of the Year.
They think that this is the greatest trade since Milt Pappas for Frank Robinson, okay? Which it may very well be. Doncic may win multiple championships in L.A. We don't know. And I would have traded Doncic for Davis.
You remember we're at the
100 times out of 100.
Like, where is Doncic? Where is Luka? I mean, because he just doesn't play any defense. No. He's way. I mean, he did carry his team to the finals last year.
Yeah.
That you can't take that away. I mean, that's there, and that's pretty damn good. But you're going to have some holes with him, man, trying to win championships, because he's got to be really at a high level on the offensive end because he lacks so much on the other side of the court. I mean, you play every bit the seconds on the defensive side of the court that you do on the offensive side.
And true. And the Lakers have made this decision going all the way back to really since LeBron's been there, but especially going back to the Westbrook deal when they brought him in. They are going to be stars at the top and filler at the bottom. And in this series, Minnesota's bench outscored them by 16 points a game. All right, that's a lot. And if you've decided that you're going to be star-studded at the top and filler at the bottom, and Austin Reeves is a very good player, but I'm talking about underneath.
He's a one-way player too, Charlie.
Right, but underneath that, you're going to be compromised. Well, then your stars better be at the top of their game every night for you to be able to win in the playoffs. And sometimes they are.
A guy that's not that great on the offensive end, but he's a good ball defender like a Drew Holiday. I mean, Milwaukee. How long was he at Milwaukee? They won.
Yeah, and the championship here.
I mean, was he on a team with the Celtics?
Yes.
They won. You got it's more than just an offensive game. It's more than just prop offensive bets.
And the Celtics have played games without Jason Tatum and won. Played games without Kristaps Porzingis and won. Played games without, I think, Jaylen Brown, not in the playoffs, but in the regular season, and won. That's what a full roster looks like. Right. They're the champs. The Lakers don't have that.
And when you do things like extremes, whatever it is, and when you play five guys the entire half in a playoff game, which no one has ever done in the playoffs, I mean, you hit, but you going out of your way. And then when he's questioned about it, he gets testy. This is a guy's dropping F-bombs in his introductory press conference.
Right.
That's just L.A. Oh, yeah. So, it's also overreaction, just L.A. over and over again. And, I mean, they're ready to anoint this guy. And you can't do that. And then when you get asked about it, when you do something extreme, the media is only doing their job. Now, some kid, it was awful, and how he presented the comment, basically asking him, if you do something this dumb, do you have, to paraphrase, if you do something this dumb, do you have assistants that you trust that are going to try and talk you out of it? Is basically what he said in a long-about way. But you can't do that. You can't say, well, I mean, we missed layups. It wasn't because they're tired. Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah.
No, if you're doing...
That's exactly when you miss layups.
Yes. I mean, when you're doing something that is so routine, you're not doing it, it could be because of fatigue. And then the move last night. With the small lineup. Charlie, who's better, Rudy Gobert or Moses Malone?
Well, Moses Malone was a better player, but Rudy Gobert's a better defender. But
Moses Malone's
the best player. The best player.
He's one of the all-time greats. One of the all-time greats.
Moses is a top 15
You
player
read that box score, that's a Moses Malone playoff box.
27, 24?
A really good night in the playoffs for Moses Malone.
Right.
I mean, that's what you turned him into. I mean, did you see them around the rim? I mean, he looked like Ralph Sampson in the early '80s in the ACC or something. He was so much bigger than everybody else.
Yeah, he crushed it.
Max, JJ's your guy.
Well,
you got any thoughts?
Look, it was a rough one. Maxi Kleber had his first game as a Laker. In the fourth quarter, he was playing.
Yeah,
he had never played for the Lakers, and he was playing last night.
He missed 42. He's been up 42 games. Did I read that stat right?
He had not played since January 25th for the Mavericks, and he played 5 minutes last night. So yeah, it was a rough performance. It was somebody who doesn't have coaching experience, and you could sense that. I can admit that I was maybe a little premature on J.J. Redick, and I still think he can make something out of his career, but he just made a lot of rookie mistakes. He's learning on the job.
I will just say this. It's real simple. J.J. Redick, let's just say he's going to be a coach in the NBA for a little stretch, all right? Let's say. In 5 years from now, is he going to say, man, I was a lot better my first 2 months on the job than I am now? No. My point is, he needs some seasoning. I mean, he needs to go through this, and he's acting like, he's above. He's giving us the Belichick Popovich type of attitude in the press availabilities when, dude, you don't have the skins on the wall. I mean, and when you go out of your way and do some things, and then he's like, that move is kind of a reach. I mean, to put this guy in an elimination game in the fourth quarter where he hasn't played, I mean, how else? I mean, that's what happens when you kind of second-guessing yourself. But, look, the T-Wolves, and it's a guess. And the bottom line, we go again, the Lakers could have easily and maybe should have won games 3 and 4. They didn't. And
they didn't show for game 1.
You say that they didn't show, or was it just a bad matchup for them? Because Minnesota certainly exhaled in game 2. So we can't say that. I mean, Minnesota, remember what they shot and how many open shots they.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
You can maybe say that's on a lack of focus on the defensive end because they had
the number
way higher open. I think the uncontested threes are like 6 feet or more is what they judge it by, Max. I mean, so just clean looks from 3, and it was much higher percentage, and they also knocked them down. And would they shoot 60% from 3 in game 1?
Somewhere in that area. Or maybe it was.
How do you not
21 out of 42
for the postseason?
21 out of 42. I can't tell you.
LeBron is not a teammate that's going to. He's not going to make that message clear. It's playoffs now.
He didn't.
Or they just got whooped.
They got thumped. I mean,
okay, but it's a no-show. I mean, I'm asking like they weren't prepared or mentally or focused. I mean, I
can't give you the why. All I can give you is they got blown out at home in a game 1, which is not a letdown spot or any of that stuff.
Right.
And we didn't see there that this was a complete mismatch, or they had any of the problems in games 2, 3, and 4, which were all very competitive game. Well, they won game 2, but games 3 and 4 were very competitive. So I didn't see where that was the problem. They came out flat, unfocused, whatever you want to say, and got thumped at home by 22, and that shouldn't happen.
It's a guess on these teams that have the lead, what type of killer instinct they have, and I thought because they exhaled in game 2, and they had close calls. I mean, they just can't take for granted to go back to Minnesota and they're going to beat the Lakers the way games 3 and 4 went. So I expected it hit, okay? I mean, you just wrong. The exhale spot on the Warriors, the historical trend continues. I mean, the Rockets, who can't score anything, have scored all kinds of points. I mean, they weren't locking down on the defensive. That intensity defensively was not what I saw in game 4.
No, they have a history of that, and it was early in the fourth quarter. I think Curry's taking off his ankle braces and stuff like that. I'm like, man, you should have done that at the end of the first quarter. The league would have jumped his butt for doing it, but if I was Curry, I'd have pulled them all out at the end of the first quarter and go sit down.
Down 28, the backups cut it down to like 12 or 14.
And if they
were itching with about 6-7 minutes to go if they were going to put him back in, but he never did.
I would have, I'd have pulled him even before he said, we ain't winning this game tonight. I mean, just at the end of the first quarter, you're down 16. I know that's not a deficit that's you can unable to overcome, but you kind of see with the Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
And we could foreshadow it. We've seen it with them before. They knew they had a game to play with. I was surprised the Lakers didn't win last night. I thought that they would win that game and go back to Minnesota. I thought you'd see a supreme effort out of them, and I thought they would win the game, and they didn't. So
Lakers lost every fourth quarter in that series by at least 6 points.
Okay, well, there's your 16-point average on the bench. The bench outscored him by 16 points a game. And I ask you, the guy, and I know this doesn't help him in the paint, but Dalton Connect before the trade, which
he's got to be hurt, obviously. Huh?
Well, he played in 2 games of the last 4. 2 of them were DNP coach's decision. And the other ones he played 3 minutes and 1 minute. So he's healthy enough to go out there, but he's not healthy. I mean, he was a complete non-factor in this series, and that's a guy that before the trade, he was a contributor. And I know he's a rookie, but still.
No, you're looking.
That's a first-round pick. You're looking for some help somewhere. You're looking for some bench minutes, and it was a complete non-factor.
He's an older rookie too. He's not a 1 year college or G League player, turned in there. But that's a team that's dying for some depth, and you're looking to get some minutes out of your bench.
One of the few first-round picks that you've had. And
are you that concerned about defense? Reeves doesn't get off the court. He can't be any worse defensively than him.
No, and he's not as good offensively as Reeves, but he could have given you some minutes. At least I thought. Didn't happen.
No, you just look at how they've been outscored in the fourth quarter. It's just they're dying for some depth.
When you're outscored in the fourth quarter and you're outscored off the bench.
City leaders trying to adjust all the ceremonial plans in the City of Angels. Huh?
I just saw a picture of Colucci with a champagne bottle, and I don't know. We can ask him. We'll get him on.
No, it's a liquor town. There is no doubt about that. Don't forget our friends over here at Los Reyes Mexican Grill on West Lee Drive, and just around the corner is Cinco de Mayo. It's on a Monday this year. So
this Monday.
Yes, this Monday. Rob Pressler doing some live music over here at 6 o'clock. So, and Cinco 3 Blonde Mice starting at 5:30. How about that, huh? All kinds of festivities over here at Los Reyes Mexican Grill. So, happy hour 7 days a week, 2:30 to 6:30. And, being the 1st of May, we got to send out our congratulations to Nick. Nick just just edged out Blair for April Employee of the Month over here at Los Reyes.
You get a good parking spot?
Yes, he's so we over here. Always a great staff over here. Scott and Kyle doing a wonderful job over here. Making sure that everybody's taken care of. I was over here last Saturday evening as well, watching the ball games and watching the end of that Clippers game with the dunk at the buzzer. So tacos, burritos, you name it, fajitas, quesadillas. You got everything, and man, when you get that bill, you don't get that sticker shock as well. You got baseball teams down the street playing tournament ball. Hey, we're about a 5-minute drive away. Call us ahead of time. We'll get your 8 top, your 10 top, your 24 top, whatever it is. Let us know. So how many you got in your party so we can have it ready for you. But Cinco de Mayo festivities, live music and more, and all kinds of festivities, drink specials over here at Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Lee, just across the street from Mike Anderson's.
Paul Skeens Day in Pittsburgh
right.
here in about 15-20 minutes. We'll touch on that. And Colucci with us in a few minutes as well. Live at Los Reyes, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Los Reyes Mexican Grill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 104.5 ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net, and the Handycast available on YouTube right now. Me, Doug Thompson, Dan Canterbury, available on LSU Baseball, which is a real interesting game in the league tonight that we're going to get to here in just a second. But I do want to talk about Skeens here for a second in this game today. Paul Skeens is an ERA at 2.39. That is the top 16th in the league. His whip is .8, which among starters is third in the league.
Who's ahead of him in the National League?
In the National League, it is – hang on a second. I had that just a second ago. Actually, they're both in the American League. It's Nathan Eovaldi and Logan Gilbert. So he's number one in the National League. Pavetta's like an eyelash behind him from San Diego.
He's been great.
Yeah. In the 6 games that Paul Skeens has pitched with a a WHIP that's tops in the league and third in all of baseball, and an ERA that is top 15 or so. The Pirates are 3-3. I mean, not that this is any breaking news, but this is every time. Now they managed to beat the Dodgers. He shut out the Dodgers for 6 innings, and they scored 3 runs.
At Chavez Ravine,
including one in the first inning.
Yeah.
But in the other, and then they beat the Nationals. They scored 10 runs in that game. But the other games, shut out at Cleveland, 3 against St. Louis, and that was actually the only game he didn't pitch well in. 4 against Tampa Bay, 4 against Miami. I guess I'm bringing it up because we check in on this stuff from time to time. You'd be hard pressed to pitch any better than he's pitched since he's been in the big leagues.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And their record is what?
It was better last year.
It was a little bit better last year, and this year out of the gate it's 500.
You know what it was last year?
Without looking,
I think it was considerably better.
I would say that they won probably somewhere around. I'm going to say between 58 and 62% of the starts he had last year. That's just a guess. Max could probably get us the total number, but I would say somewhere in the high 50s, low 60s of games that they won last year. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, about 60%. But that's
with these numbers. How much better can?
No, the handwriting's on the wall, and
and 5 years out. We're talking about something that's in 29, but he got to get frustrated a little bit, don't you think?
Sure. He's got the guy pitching for the Cubs is kind of maybe the guy to absorb the blow for the Steele injury. Colin Ray was picked up, in the offseason from Milwaukee, and he's been really good. Really, really good. Now, he doesn't go as deep into the game. He's only got 18-plus innings pitched, and that's 6 games. But his numbers have been phenomenal. I mean, below 1 ERA, it's unbelievable. So he got a great matchup, 10 minutes from first pitch at PNC.
Cubs lost to Aaron Nola the last time out, and I think
that was Sunday night.
Sunday
night, wind blowing in it was definitely pitching favorable conditions.
They get the
maybe that'll get Nola gone.
They get the Nola Skeens double here. Hunt Palmer is just at his wits' end, with his Cubs.
Yeah, I got you. But I mean, they did win last night. They came from behind with a couple of runs and beat the Cubs last night. They got blown out, so this is a rubber match of the 3-game set. But it's that lineup. I mean, Pittsburgh's got to be near the bottom. Let me see the runs they scored. They're 24th out of 30 teams. Cubs are the highest scoring team in baseball. They didn't hit it much last night though.
Pirates.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Pirates minus 130. You playing along? Ray's been really good.
Huh? I know. It's I kind of like the Cubs today.
Pirates were 15-8 in his starts last year.
Yeah, 65%. I was a little low. 65% of the games. We got another great game. I want to take a second while we got some time here. Arkansas and Texas tonight, and we talked about this a little bit on the podcast this morning. Sports Bettor's Paradise.
Yeah, College Sports Rush. You can look for wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube. College Sports Rush. We just dropped it. It should be dropping soon on YouTube. But
you don't see the number one team in the country as a dog very often, but that's the case tonight. Texas, number one in the polls, number one in the RPIs, plus 135. Is that holding right now against Arkansas? Is minus 160. The Hogs 27-3 at home. 7-2 at home in the Southeastern Conference, but a little bit skewed. 6 of those wins are against Missouri and South Carolina. They've lost their last
114 now.
Okay,
down
so it's going
low.
down.
But that's at the Queen.
Okay. This pitching matchup greatly favors the road team tonight. Arkansas has lost their last 3 series in SEC play. Zach Root, their Friday night guy, last 4 starts, 7.1 ERA. And our guy, Ruger Riojas, this has got some shades of what we did with Hunter Elliott a few years ago. You get on one pitcher and ride him. He was crushing all of the Sundays in league play. But when they lost Jared Spencer, their ace, they moved him up to Friday nights. He's 7-0 in SEC games. Texas 7-0 in SEC games that he's pitched, and his SEC ERA is 2.5. That's even better than Kyson Witherspoon. So Texas going in. Arkansas, very tough at home, 27-3. But Texas has got the pitching matchup tonight.
But Arkansas has lost 3 straight series in a row.
Yes,
they're not in great form. The Texas, a pitcher, from Sunday to Friday, handled that just fine. Beat Texas A&M 2-1, a hot hitting Texas A&M team. So they're just fine. Yeah, you got to take them at a plus price here in this game.
Texas has won 10 straight overall. It was a 3-1 run games. The only thing that bothers me about this is the baseball law of averages. Texas is due something to happen.
You keep waiting on that for Texas. I think they're pretty good in one-run situations, and their coaches too.
They're 7-1 in the league and 10-2 overall, and Schloss is as good as it gets. So, be on the Longhorns tonight against Arkansas.
Yeah, I don't think that's all just luck.
No, not that many. No, not that many.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie, and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title. 296-0060.
Live at Los Reyes, live at lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Los Reyes Mexican Grill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And today's show is also brought to you in part by Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike. Coastal Capital Advisors tailor-make a plan for your family's needs in retirement, no matter what your age or your financial situation. They've been a fantastic organization to work with for me. It took me sort of from the ground up and worked with me. I tell you what, they'll build a lifetime relationship with you. For more information, contact Philip Fondo and his staff, 337-981-1376, or online, coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, member FINRA SIPC.
All right, do we have Colucci yet?
I think the party's still going in Vegas. I think that the staff party.
He just tried to call me on my cell phone. I
think the staff party's still dragging from last night.
Yeah, maybe so.
They're gonna build
Does he spend more time reading the form for the Derby, or is he
either that? They're building a whole new wing of the hotel on the Lakers' losses.
So this will be the first of 3, contributors for the Derby that we have. Of course, we've got Chris Massaro and Michael Baychok tomorrow. And, I'm going to head down to the Beau Rivage for Derby weekend. So I'm looking forward to it as well. So if you are looking to bet the horses, yes, there's a couple. But the Beau Rivage does have that track and all the major tracks. Not some of the smaller tracks, but Santa Anita will be going on and some of the others. But, no, the horses, you can bet them at the Racing Sportsbook at the Beau Rivage in Biloxi. So
Dwayne Lucas saddling an entry at 89 years old. Wayne, look at 89 years old. American Promise, a 30-1 long shot. But Wayne is still saddling Derby horses, man.
That is a trip. So do we have him yet, Jordan? Did you call him? Colucci, you there?
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Put the champagne down for a minute.
Yeah, put the champagne. He's busy counting all the money from the Laker losses, losing tickets last night. So both on the future bets in. How bad was it for the Laker bettors last night?
Well, it happens. What are you going to do? I mean, it was bad, but I think they started to sniff it out as this series went on. You started to see a very tired Laker team, and definitely who took advantage of that. But it was great. We discussed the futures market a few weeks ago. It helped us knocking them down. Now, if the Rockets could just get going and knock out the Warriors, that would just be supreme, where we don't have much of liability, looking forward to these next few series.
All right, let's get to it. To let people know, first of all, where's your seminar going to be tomorrow night for the Derby?
Tomorrow night, right here at the Rampart in the Cascade Lounge, myself, Bob Ike, Jay Privman, and we have a link on the Rampart Casino website, so you guys could stream that live on the Rampart YouTube channel. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, just to have Bob and Jay here, it's phenomenal. Jay Privman actually attended like 40 straight Kentucky Derbies up until the time he joined us last year, and he retired from his daily racing form duties. Bob Ike, just a phenomenal Southern California handicapper. He's in the LA Times for many, many years, and he continues on with a daily sheet. A prolific handicapper at Santa Anita and Del Mar, and experience basically all over the world. And, we just love helping out the customers, showing them how to bet, and it's a good time. It's free to all, and, it's going to be inside one of our fabulous lounges, which we'll have set up with a video projector. We'll show you guys the replays of the Derby prep races, break down each horse, and give you guys some picks, and actually, a few pick fours, pick fives, what have you. We'll be handicapping the whole Saturday card.
All right, Journalism, the 4-1 favorite, draws a favorable post at the 8 spot. So Baffert's horse, not so much. Citizen Bull, you don't want to be in the on the rail there in this 20 horse field. But your thoughts on Journalism, the favorite?
Yeah, he's going to be tough. He looks really good, I'll be honest with you, despite only facing 5-horse field 4 out of his 5 career starts. He looks full of himself. He looks really strong in the morning, and he's acclimated to his surroundings. I mean, he's been schooling in the paddock. He doesn't seem to be nervous. Looks very strong. Another horse that looks strong is Sandman. He's taken a ton of money. He's currently about 5-1, and that's despite drawing the dreaded 17-hole, who has never produced a Kentucky Derby winner and actually has the worst top 3 finishers as well out of that 17th post. But Sandman has taken a ton of action. I mean, Mark Cassie is having a phenomenal year from the trainer's perspective. And this horse definitely, strong. He's looking in the morning, galloping. It's just a matter of, can he get the trip? Similar to Journalism, it's so tough, guys, to navigate a 20-horse field. Even though now you have the extended starting gate and you don't have that auxiliary gate anymore, it's just so tough. And especially for a guy like Umberto Rispoli, who's, been used to the smaller fields on the dirt, and he's synonymous with being an excellent dirt rider. So, it's going to be tough for him to get used to this Churchill Downs racetrack. But if any horse could do it, Journalism could do it. And Mike McCarthy's a great conditioner. He's another guy who has maidens and, 3-4-year-olds all over the country and is based in Southern California.
Well, how many? Where are you right now on your handicapping for the big race? Have you narrowed it down, or are you still kind of putting the finishing touches on it?
Yeah, I kind of narrowed it down, but I'm still putting finishing touches. That's a great question, Jimmy. I definitely want to see the condition of the course. It's so important. Right now, with 6 minutes till race 1, we're looking at fast and firm, but there's definitely rain in the forecast. And then you have to start looking at breeding horses that have been successful over the sloppy track. And a horse like Luxor Cafe, coming from Japan, has been very successful over wet courses. And he's by American Pharaoh, who we know is a Triple Crown winner and definitely has excellent wet track breeding. And that's what you're looking for if the track does come up sloppy. But keep in mind, even if it rains, Jimmy, on Friday, it's going to dry out by Saturday. That track dries out really, really quick in Kentucky.
Oh, yeah, that thing is dried out in a couple of hours on a Saturday when it's rained in some of the. Anything on the card tomorrow or Saturday that you could give us some picks on?
Yeah, definitely. There's a horse tomorrow, I believe, in the 10th race at Bullet that I'm looking at. This was a horse I gave out in the Breeders' Cup. I believe it was the Turf Sprint, and the horse ran third in that race at a huge price. Richard Baltus is the trainer, and he's just having a phenomenal year. So
step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather, now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group.
I'm looking for this horse to definitely pop tomorrow. Ag Bullet has an excellent shot. In the Derby, I'm kind of narrowing it down. I'm looking at journalism very hard, but there's some horses like Publisher and East Avenue that have long shot chances. I was waiting for Baez to draw in, but he's not going to draw in. And if he did, you were getting top rider in the country right now, Flavia Pratt. Other than Irad Ortiz, and he was being bet, pretty solid in those early days. But now his odds are up to 50, 60 to 1 because he's probably not going to draw in, unfortunately. And he had run second to journalism, so I was looking at him. But East Avenue has a lot of speed, and the track guys has been massively speed favoring. Keep that in mind. Anything that goes to the lead basically has been carrying that speed.
Really?
So, keep
at
an
Churchill,
eye on
huh?
that. Yes. If they open the starting gate, Jimmy, and you were first or second, regardless of the odds, you were finishing first or second. It's an incredible speed track right now. But the horse I'm giving you tomorrow in the 10th race, Ag Bullet, is on the turf. 5.5 furlongs on the turf. That's the number 4 horse in race 10. The Unbridled Sydney. So, Ag Bullet, morning line. We're looking at 2 to 1. So I think he has a monstrous chance. Like I said, I know Richard Baltus personally. He's just an excellent conditioner, and he'll have this horse in top condition. The Oaks tomorrow, I'm going with a bomb. I like the 10 horse, Take Charge Milady. Kenneth McPeak has said the horse had a hoof injury.
Wait. You're going fast. Who in the Oaks now?
The 10 horse, Take Charge Milady. Ken Peake and Brian Hernandez, who won the race last year with Torpedo Anna, the champion. Brian Hernandez is in the saddle of this horse. Like I said, Kenneth McPeak, the trainer, said the horse had a serious hoof injury and infection. Now that is cleared up. She looks great on the racetrack. 12 to 1 morning line. Naturally, you're going to have to beat the 11 horse, Good Cheer. That's a Brad Cox, Luis Saez combination. Luis Saez has about, I would say, 7 victories in 2 days so far of Churchill Racing. He's really a great rider when it comes to this course. Knows exactly what to do. And, Good Cheer is going to be very tough to beat. That's why she's 6 to 5, guys, on the morning line. My horse is 12 to 1. Let's box 10-11 in the Oaks. Take Charge Milady and the 11 Good Cheer.
All right, 10-11, exacta box in the Oaks tomorrow. 10-11, exacta box. Nothing for the Cubs in the top of the first. Skeens, no strikeouts, though, but one, the leadoff guy got on. But
how was that week now, guys? Did they come back to earth after we, were touting the Cubs for the World Series? They didn't have such a good week there, guys. Coming back, Reds are catching up very quickly, and all of a sudden the Dodgers, they have 21 and 10, and the Cubs are 18 and 13. Just to bring that up, the run differential was about 55 last week. Now it's 47, and the Dodgers are at plus 35. So
I believe the Cubs have a bigger lead in the division. I believe the Cubs have a bigger division lead than the Dodgers at this point.
The second place team in the West has a better record than the Cubs. The second and third place teams have better record than the Cubs.
Jimmy, put the shovel down.
you think the Padres are better than the Reds?
You're going to lose. You're going to lose this argument.
They'll be teeing off after game 162. Trust me.
Let's make a side bet. Okay?
Oh, sweet
Moses.
Right? Okay.
At the end of May, the Padres will be in first place in the West.
A cocktail at Jimmy O's, right?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Okay. All right.
On June 1st, the Padres will be in first place in the NL West. You got the Dodgers.
No, this is a Cub-Dodger bet. Now you want to...
Did you see him try to sneak the Padres in there on you? Did you see that?
I'll take the 53 Yankees. They'll have a better record than the Dodgers will. I mean, come on. You're talking Cubs and Dodgers. We're not bringing the Padres.
I'm talking about
bad enough. I got to deal with Giants.
Have you seen the Padres' May schedule? It is slightly favorable. I mean, it is unbelievable.
I would say so.
And they getting Arise had a bunch of hits yesterday again, so he's back. And Merrill is about to come back as well. And probably the easiest schedule for the month of May to the Padres. But the Cubbies are still riding in first place. I mean, it's a little bit bigger cushion than the Dodgers have, but we'll let you know how it goes a little bit later. So
improved, but we discussed how the West is stacked. And, the Cubs are definitely improved. No slide on the Cubs. They're playing excellent baseball. I love the youth movement. That's very important. And, the Mets are just taking advantage of that schedule, like you said. I mean, the Mets are 13-2 at home, guys. That's really a tremendous home record, but they'll come back to earth.
Fly ball to center field with 2 on to end the inning, but the Marlins center fielder looked like he had vertigo and got twisted around. That turned into a 2-run triple. So,
Did he catch it behind his back like the guy in Toronto?
Let's get back to the because we got to keep in mind, because we have casual horse racing fans that want to learn a little bit on this. You're saying that the speed is holding up. So whoever's in the lead is maintaining that lead in Churchill right now. But that is the longest stretch run. It's like Churchill, Belmont, and maybe the Fairgrounds. I mean, really long stretches. So that's quite a statement, Dwayne.
Yeah. Fairgrounds has a monster stretch. You're right about that. Aqueduct actually has a long stretch as well on the main track. But, yeah, you're right, Churchill. But if you watch the replays of the races, guys, you'll see what I mean. It's just been a speed-favoring track to where the closers are not making up any ground. And I'm watching the first race here, and the 5 at 7-5, he broke right on top. The 6 is second, but the 5 looks, here we go, hit the top of the stretch, and he's kicking clear again. So maybe the rain could change this. I mean, you're dealing with a horse that is at 5 here. And definitely a favorite in this betting race. So it's understandable that his speed may carry. But it seems like it's very, very difficult for you to make up any ground. And, yeah, he keeps going. Look, he won the race. So, it's just wire-to-wire fashion every day thus far on the dirt track only. Keep that in mind. We're not talking turf. We're not talking grass.
Right.
So it definitely gives horses a chance. Like, Rodriguez, he's going to sit in the perfect position. Citizen Bull, like you said, Bob Baffert. Now, this is both the Baffert's horses. Citizen Bull is going to have to gun from the rail. Owen Almighty is going to have to gun from the 20. That's a speed horse anyway to begin with. So if Rodriguez in the 4-hole could sit behind these two, he might be able to slingshot because these horses, come Derby day, like you said, you get a little nervous, you get a little sweaty, the horses get tense.
Yeah.
Maybe you could close from the 3 or 4 position, but it's going to be very difficult to get position right behind the leaders because everybody's going to be fighting for it. Everybody knows to stay close to the pace. You're not going to be able to close from the clouds like, say, a country house against maximum security that day if this track remains the same and a speed-consistent track.
All right, and we'll close as we do every week with Dwayne, with my Cubbies and his Dodgers. The Cubs do, we update this head-to-head series. Cubs lead 4-3 this year, so we do that every week. So
they're not playing again, are they?
No, they're not.
Yeah, he's going to update. He's going to beat you over the head with that until October.
Dwayne, you're the best. Hey, send me any picks tomorrow before the show's done. If you got anything on the Oaks card tomorrow, man. Good luck on your seminar. I know you enjoy it. You'll do great, and best of luck this weekend, man. On at Churchill with your bets.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, Charlie. Let's cash some tickets. Let's crush Churchill down this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, indeed. Is my man excited or what?
Yeah, you can tell. Between the Lakers and Derby week, I mean, this is Christmas in
it's
in
Giddy
May.
Colucci.
Yes.
Giddy Colucci.
Right.
Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow, including their newest location right down the street at Burbank and Bluebonnet. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Reynolds with a solo shot. Pirates on top 1-0, giving Skeens a 1-0 lead.
Live at Los Reyes, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Los Reyes Mexican Grill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at Los Reyes, live at lunch. Said the Pirates, they go to the second now with a 1-0 lead on the Cubs. You see what's going on in Alabama tonight?
No.
Nick Saban's going back to speak at graduation.
It's Saturday, huh?
There's an address to the graduating class tonight. This is the event. This is not actual graduation, but this is a speech to the graduating class tonight. It's going to be at Coleman Coliseum. Nick Saban is going to speak to the graduates. Guess he's bringing a side speaker. Donald Trump. They may draw a crowd. I'm just guessing. It was too compelling not to bring up.
No wonder Ethan's mother is staying in Meridian tomorrow night to help him come back home.
Yeah, there may be a few people at that event tonight. You think, can EJ get us some tickets? I mean, I know we're not graduating or anything, but
this is his second time to Tuscaloosa in how many months? He was there for the was it the Georgia game? It was in Alabama. It was a big one.
Yeah, I think it was.
That was it. Well, after the Georgia game, there were no more big ones there.
Who's the bigger draw in Alabama, Saban or Trump?
Man, don't. I'm trying to find out when Patrick Corbin got bit by a spider to turn his luck around. You got
pictures all over the big leagues looking for spiders.
I know the hotels are high. I do know that.
Hour number 2, straight ahead at Los Reyes, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Los Reyes Mexican Grill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at Los Reyes, live at lunch. Wesley at Nicholson. Come on by and join us for lunch.
All right, my man Matt Humans. We love having a college football and college basketball, and so after the draft, and so it's our last visit with him. Till we get closer to football season, maybe get some of his futures he's had a lot of success with as well. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm happy that we don't have to watch LeBron James flop around and fake injuries anymore in the NBA playoffs.
City leaders are trying to adjust the championship parade arrangements. Yep. The coronation, the Rob Pelinka GM, J.J. Redick coach, dual coronation as kings of the court. It's wow. Yes, man, what about the premature anointing of J.J. Redick, like a month in and all this stuff, huh?
Well, that's what the media does. It's jump to conclusions. And J.J. Redick, obviously inexperienced coach, and he showed it in the playoffs. Hey, the regular season and the playoffs are totally different games. And, look at James Harden. He's a different player in the playoffs than he is in the regular season. It's just, and it's the same thing with teams. It's adjusting to more of a defensive type of game, more physical game, and you have to adjust on the fly in these series. And J.J. Redick did a poor job. He elected last night to not go with the center. And meanwhile, Rudy Gobert has a huge game and just eats him up. The Lakers are getting killed on the boards last night. And when you get killed on the boards, some of it's effort, too. And just watching last night's game, when there were rebounds to be had, a lot of Lakers players were just standing around. And the T-Wolves were killing them. Now, how do you win a game on the road in the playoffs when you shoot 7 for 47 from 3 and your star guard, Anthony Edwards, is 0 for 11 from 3? That's how bad Lakers were last night. And they were getting killed on the boards. Their defensive performance was poor. Here's one thing I'll say about Luka Doncic, and I'm sure you guys have talked about it, but I've maintained this since the trade. I understand completely why the Mavericks didn't want to give Luka a supermax contract. As my friend Doug Kazarian said recently, and I sign off on this, he says, Doncic is 25 going on 55. He's not keeping his body in shape. He's putting up the numbers. You look at the box score and you say, well, he had a pretty good game. He had 28, 7, and 6 or whatever. Look at him on the defensive end of the floor. He is a disaster. And he gives up so much on the defensive end. And he's so slow. Remember how Doncic, he would never light it up as an electric athlete, but he was more athletic. he would get to the rim and dunk on people. He is so slow on the offensive end of the floor now. It looks like he's moving in slow motion. And he's going to have to really hit it in the offseason and train if he wants to be a superstar, because he looks like he's getting old. So I can understand why the Mavs wanted to not give him the Supermax. But at the same time, the Mavericks screwed up that trade. They should have gotten so much more in return.
Yeah.
And to me, that was the biggest problem. You had to get a lot more in return if you're going to trade Doncic. And the Lakers thought they were getting a steal, and now they get knocked out in 5 games in the first round of the playoffs. And LeBron threw management under the bus last night in the post-game press conference. How about
I'll miss
that?
it.
That guy takes no accountability. He flops, fakes injuries, takes no accountability. That's my biggest problems with LeBron, who is 2-12 in his last 14 playoff games, by the way.
If you're wondering how fatigued he was at the end of Game 4, when they went to that review, when the T-Wolves were up 1, and they went back, and before the T went out on the T-Wolves last, he fouled the guy, and they showed him as a bench, and like, wait a minute, LeBron's getting a kind of a little bit of a controversial call here. I mean, he didn't say a word. He was so tired because he played the whole second half. He didn't even say a word. So, I mean, I've been beyond with the LeBron fatigue, man. He's just too much. I mean, he hires his podcast partner. And J.J. Redick may, he may develop into being a really good coach. But, who gets a job? But I guess Steve Kerr got a job with just broadcaster's experience when Golden State hired him for Mark Jackson as well to replace him. But it's one thing about it, it's so much better in the playoffs. So it's more of a diverse game. It's not a 3-point shooting contest. The intensity's way up. Whether it's these faux basketball fights, you get a little tired of, but or if the dad's coming out the stands to try and talk to the freak. I mean, it's a little bit of a circus, but man, it's a different sport. But that lineup that J.J. Redick went to last week. And look, he's reaching. He's going, to lead the 5-star. Nobody's ever done that for a whole half in the playoffs. And then he goes with this small lineup. If you look at the box score, you thought Rudy Gobert was Moses Malone in his prime and had one of his greatest games ever in the playoffs. He turned him into Moses Malone. He was a foot taller than everybody down under the goal. So no, it's. Hey, man, this just in New York, they're going to make more out of things, sports accomplishments. And with the Lakers, you're going to get it as well because they drive the needle on the national shows. So, yeah, you get what you get. I tell you what, drives a handle in Las Vegas, too. The bookmakers, we hadn't heard too much out of them this morning, huh? They're pretty quiet when they counting their money.
They hung over.
Oh, that was a huge game for the books last night with the Lakers going down. How many money line parlays or parlays in general had the Lakers on it last night? No way they're going to lose at home in Game 5, right? And that's a monster win for the books. And it's a big loss for a lot of sports talk shows, TV shows, right? I'm not going to have LeBron and Luka and the Lakers to talk about for the next month or so. So you lose some content there with not having LeBron to talk about. But J.J. Redick showed his immaturity in this series. To follow up on your first point, he did a poor job in that Game 4 in Minnesota, playing the same 5 players all second half, and the starters were gassed at the end, and they copped up the lead. And never, you got Jackson Hayes there on the bench. He's not a superstar, but play him. You got to play a center occasionally, and Rudy Gobert, like you said, just tore him up last night. So that's it for the Lakers, and we'll move on here and see if the Clippers can follow the Lakers to Cancun for the offseason. By the way, there was a panel on ESPN.com of 10 writers who picked the Lakers T-Wolves series. You guys have probably seen it. All 10 picked the Lakers. And I think only 3 of them even had the series going to 7 games. So it was unanimous that the media experts had the Lakers advancing in that series. And I think most people had the Clippers getting past the Nuggets. I've got a bet on the Nuggets in 7 at plus 390. I think the Clippers probably win tonight to force a 7th game. But again, you started to see the disappearing act of James Harden in Game 5 of the playoffs in Denver.
Since you mentioned Giannis a minute ago, we were talking about the trade for Doncic. The Dame Lillard injury puts Milwaukee's future squarely in flux. And so Giannis is going to be, I think, I think, the biggest trade chip this offseason. When the offseason comes, he'll be the biggest name, and I think he'll probably go to management and say, "Hey, let's see if we can move me." There's a local angle here, Matt, because the Pelicans are tied into some Milwaukee draft futures off of the Drew Holiday trade. They've got a pick swap in 26, so there's a little bit of a local angle here. What is Giannis worth on the open market, and who makes sense for him?
Let's see. I think he's worth a lot on the open market, somewhere around 3 first-round draft picks and more. I think the Rockets are going to look at him. The Knicks will look at him. Maybe the Suns. There's going to be more. I don't really know who else is involved. I looked at there was a sports book that's got odds up on where Giannis is going to be playing next season. I think it might be. I don't know if it's DraftKings or I saw it on Twitter this morning. The Bucks were the favorites at -200, but I think the Bucks have to move him because with this Damian Lillard injury, which basically wipes out next season for Lillard, who's his contract is on the books. You just got to do a total rebuild now. I think in Milwaukee and move the freak and start to get as many good young players as you can. Just rebuild. Hey, he brought a championship to Milwaukee. That's what it's all about. They got one. Ended their long drought. That's great. There's no reason to be bitter. It's time to move on, rebuild. And I think the Knicks, the Rockets, the Suns, there's going to be some other teams out there that make sense for them.
Hey, Matt, it's really tough doing mock drafts. I mean, you get 5 right, you're doing really well. You hit your first 7. Hit your first 7 on your mock. And it's impossible also to try and give grades out right after the draft. I mean, you have to try and grade accordingly to. It's funny how the teams that have the most picks, some people say, well, they did the best. Well, they better have if they had more picks. But you did have some opinions post-draft.
I like what the New York Giants did. Giants, I think, will have one of the best defensive lines in the league. They pick up, obviously, Abdul Carter and third-round pick out of Toledo, Darius Alexander. He's a player, too. And I think the Giants drafted one of my favorite players in the draft. Not just with Abdul Carter, but how about Cam Scatabo, running back from Arizona State? They got him with the third pick of the 4th round, Scatabo. Jackson Dart, my favorite quarterback in the draft, traded up to get him number 25 in the first round. I know there's going to be a...
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Opinion split on Dart, whether or not he's going to make it or not. But I do believe in Brian Dable. He helped develop Josh Allen in Buffalo, and he's going to do good work with Dart. So I think the Giants made some big improvements. Now their win total is 5.5 over at +115, so that's not a reason to bet a bunch of futures on the Giants because it's going to be tough to climb the ladder in the East right now with the Eagles, Commanders, and Cowboys. I like the Steelers draft. I like that they didn't reach for a quarterback. They really built their defense. They got Caleb Johnson, a running back from Iowa, in the 3rd round. Will Johnson, I thought was Will Howard, out of Ohio State, I thought was a smart backup playing a quarterback in the 6th round. And don't forget the Steelers did trade for DK Metcalf in the offseason. So if they get Aaron Rodgers, and he's got 1 or 2 seasons left, a little bit more removed off the Achilles injury, Steelers might be okay. I like the Ravens. I like what the Patriots and the Eagles did. I thought the top to bottom, the Seahawks had a really good draft, and so did the Titans. Some other teams I thought did well. Falcons at least improved their pass rush. They gave up too much to move up for James Pierce, but Falcons, Bears, Cardinals, Colts, Jets, some other teams I thought did really well in the draft. It kind of looks like the Saints are putting out their big quarterback decision for another year, right?
They're going to start this guy in game 1.
They'll start him, but they're not going to win a lot of games with him.
The big thing about the Saints is They got all kinds of holes to fill, and they didn't give up some of their draft picks to move up like 3 or 4 slots like they do every year, it seems. Now, Sean Payton's removed, and so we're going to be fair. But, no, so their approach, we actually can't criticize a whole lot of what the Saints did. Their approach,
Right.
just stay and be patient. And no, but Shug is going to start. Daboll's already gone public and said that Wilson will be the starter moving forward. Who do you think starts more games between Dart and Wilson?
Well, I guess that kind of depends on injury too. They will stick with Wilson for a while. One thing Dable doesn't want to do is throw Dart in there too early. I'd say Wilson would start the first couple months, and let's say through 8 games. If you're 2-6, you're going to make a quarterback change. If you're 4-4, you're probably going to stick with what you're doing. So at some point, Dart's going to get the call. It's going to be in the second half of the season. So I don't know.
Charlie, what do you think?
I think they'll change quarterbacks when they change coaches. If they come out of the gate 2-8, I don't think Dable makes it to Thanksgiving. They'll fire him in season.
They're going to be better.
But if they are,
yes,
as long as Dable is there as a coach and Wilson is healthy, I think he starts. I think they're willing to redshirt Jackson Dart. If they make a coaching change, that's different. If they're that bad, then they'll make the move.
All right, Matt, who you on in the Derby?
Well, I got a few Derby plays here. I've consulted with a few experts. I know you guys are very smart with the horses. I'll tell you this. Friday night, and I try never to miss this if I can make it, I'm going out to the Rampart Sportsbook. Dwayne Colucci is having
he was
his
just on.
Derby seminar. What's that?
Yeah. He was just on, promoting it, every year.
Yeah, DC does a great job of that seminar because he's got himself, he's got Bob Ike, and he's got Jay Pridman, and those guys do a video breakdown of all the horses. It's really it's one of the best Derby seminars, maybe the best I've seen in Vegas in 25 years, the way they break it down. I know that everybody's going to make a case for journalism, the favorite, go on and on. So you got to look beyond that. Who else are you going to throw? What other horses are you going to throw in your box? I'm looking at 9, 17, 18, maybe the 7. And how about if you want to throw a long shot, how about the 3, Final Gambit, deep closer. This is going to be a hot pace. He's going to save ground on the rail at 30-1 morning line. I'm thinking about throwing the 3. So tell me if you disagree. You guys, I'm looking at 8, 7, 9, and then some combination of 3, 18, 17 and boxes.
7 is Luxor Cafe. That's the Japanese horse. The 9 is Burnham Square at 12-1. Right. The 3 is Final Gambit. And give me, what was the final number you had in there? 18, you said?
18, 7, 9, 18, 7, 17, 18.
Okay.
Sandman is getting a lot of play.
Yeah.
Sovereignty. I'm going to put 13 in. Irad Ortiz has been the jockey. He's been a top jockey in all of horse racing the last 2 years or so. So Asmus usually has a 30-1. He is not going to be 30-1. Dwayne mentioned him as well. He also mentioned the speed holding up. I mean, for such a long stretch like Churchill Downs, that's unusual also. So we're looking at that as well. So 9, 17, 18, 7 with the 3. You got the Final Gambit is a Brad Cox horse as well. Matt, we appreciate it, man. We will resume closer to football, and I appreciate it. I'll see you at Del Mar this summer.
Yeah, looking forward to Del Mar, too. Good luck on the Derby, guys. Thanks.
All right. That's
Thanks,
Matt Humans from Vies. And don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Again, for doors, siding, windows, shutters. Let's talk about the siding a little bit. When it comes to ensuring the protection and lasting style of your home, there's no better option than high-quality siding provided by Relief Windows. Vinyl siding or the Hardy Plank siding. Vinyl siding is where durability, style, and affordability all come together. Vinyl siding offers the greatest level of home protection and a wonderful value as well. The Hardy Plank siding. We are a James Hardy preferred contractor, bringing the very best in siding directly to your home. Our fiber cement products can help give your home high-end curb appeal with low maintenance as well. Give us a call at Relief Windows, 288-8138, or check out all of our products at ReliefWindows.com.
Live at Los Reyes, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Los Reyes Mexican Grill on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Paul Skeens with one hit through 3 innings, bottom of the third on a Reynolds solo shot. Pirates 1, Cubs 0. Lots of day action in Major League Baseball. Speaking of action, we certainly talk a lot of sports gambling content on this show, and they've got a bill that's going on that could certainly affect us as a players. But we bring in right now Sean Ostro from the Sports Betting Alliance. Sean, thanks for taking some time out to kind of educate us on exactly what's going down on Monday with this bill.
Well, thank you, sir. Yeah, appreciate the time. Good to be here.
So give us the they're going to raise the tax, 15% tax, which is right around the average, the national average right now in Louisiana. To go to more than double it, from 15 to 32.5% tax. Now, some of this is going to fund the NIL budgets, but it's equal. It's not like LSU is getting more of a piece of the pie than ULL or ULM, but those schools, Louisiana Tech, Southern Grambling, Nichols, McNeese, Northwestern State, and Southeastern all get a little bit of that as well, and some other things. But how is it going to affect guys like us who have accounts, mobile accounts, and we also like to go to the windows and bet in the Louisiana sports books as well? How's it going to affect the consumer like us?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So like you said, it more than doubles the tax rate. Currently it's 15%, which is right. It's actually a little bit higher than the average across the country. There are 32 other states that have online sports betting. And Louisiana, it's fair and it's working. So back in 2020, the voters in 55 parishes said they wanted this. They wanted, obviously people have been betting. People find a way, right? So people have been using offshore illegal sites, or they've been using local bookies or things of that nature. But the legal sports betting market has only been around since 2022. And it's been extremely successful. We brought in over $150 million in tax revenue since that time. But to your point, if the tax rate more than doubles, it makes it very hard for us to offer, and when I say us, I mean the Sports Betting Alliance and our companies, which are FanDuel, DraftKings, Fanatics, and BetMGM. It makes it difficult to offer a competitive product because, all those illegal sites are still out there. They don't pay taxes. They don't have regulatory fees, and they don't invest in the state and in consumer protections and responsible gaming and all the things that we do here in the regulated market. So, if a tax like this goes into effect, then we really have some bad options. Might have to raise the odds potentially. Industry standard is minus 110. You could see that creep a little bit higher. That's nobody's, first choice. You're probably also going to see some of the promos and bonuses that people enjoy. Those could potentially go away. And then we just kind of have to cut back on our investment on what we do in the state, partnering with local teams and, the Saints and Pelicans and, obviously stations like yours.
Yeah, so we certainly do try to recommend to our listening audience use your boost. There's no doubt. I mean, you get that you could flip the juice sometimes and things like that, and we tend to gravitate more of our action to the sites that will give us more boosts and more bonuses, more free play and things like that. We've also been to, gotten tickets to games or participating in a golf tournament and things like that. Just got different perks that we've had along the way. That's going to squeeze us. So how are they? So you're going to tell me that they're going to go up on football games like minus 15, minus 18 cents juice?
I mean, that would be everyone's. That would be the worst possible thing that could occur. And most companies will resist that. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, if you're paying, more than double the tax kind of out of nowhere, some adjustments do have to be made.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Certainly That's nobody's first choice, but it's certainly something that could happen. But like you said, all those promos that people like. I mean, sports bettors are pretty savvy people. They're going to shop around for the best deals, and without our ability to offer those promos, you're going to see a lot of people just kind of gravitating back to the illegal market, which can afford to do that.
Yeah, it certainly helps your illegal bookmaker. There's no doubt about that. If you're not giving out the boosts and things like that, I mean, they can give out free play on their own to their customers. I mean, and without taxes. So it's interesting. Now, didn't something like this go down in one of the other states, and they tried to raise the juice a lot, and it got a lot of pushback, and they reversed their stance pretty quickly? Wasn't that DraftKings that did that?
Well, so I think you're probably referring to Illinois, which,
yes.
Obviously probably not the bastion of, tax policy that Louisiana wants to follow. But what they did was they have a graduated system where the top, at a certain level of revenue, sports betting is taxed at up to 40%. So, that's just astronomical. That's the second highest in the country. Louisiana, by the way, would be third in the country at the proposed rate that they have in this bill. But in order to try to offset that a little bit, DraftKings, I believe, instituted kind of a fee. They didn't change the odds, but there was a potential fee. In the industry did not follow suit, and DraftKings ultimately did not go through with it. But to illustrate your point, they have had to cut back on some of the promos and other things that they've done in Illinois because of that burdensome tax rate.
What has been the conversation or the chances of trying to make this much more of a moderate jump than going, to more than doubling, like we're talking about, from 15 to 32.5%?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, look, we're not going to say that any tax increase is going to be necessarily a good thing, but certainly anything under 32.5 is something we would absolutely take a look at. It's depends on a number of factors, and our first and foremost, we want to make sure that bad legislation and bad policy doesn't pass. This is the second time in 2 years that they've tried this. There was a bill last year that would have raised it to 51%, which is just unsustainable and seems kind of punitive. And we realize that not everybody is a sports bettor, not everybody is enamored with our product. That's okay, but same token, the voters did ask for this just 4 years ago, and we want to make sure we can continue to deliver, a product that is appealing.
Do you see any of the mobile options leaving the state if this thing does pass, which I don't see how it's not going to pass? I just don't. I mean, you making it easier for our lawmakers? I mean, please. I mean, they're not. I just don't see where there's enough resistance. I mean, we're some of the more avid sports gamblers and provide sports gambling content, and this is kind of. I wasn't aware. Max, how much did you know about this? Coming up.
Yeah, I know a little bit more probably, but yeah, it's unfortunately.
I mean, how are you going to stop it? I just don't see where. I mean, really? Let's listen to the sports gamblers. I mean, you know what? I want to make a bet on it passing. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, so like Sean, your alliance. I mean, where is the voice for the consumer here? I mean, it just doesn't. I guess nobody is forcing you to sports bet. You just quit. But I mean, it's kind of
sure.
I don't know. I don't see how this is not going to pass.
I think they view this as like a cigarette tax. They feel like they're just taxing you, and they don't have to worry about that they're punishing you in some way for doing this. But
alcohol, tobacco.
I think that's sure. I think that's a pretty common perception. The one thing that people aren't taking into account is that they kind of look at us as like we're just out of state, big faceless corporations. I mean, to your first question, there are some smaller operators. There are 8 online sports books in the state right now. If you're not a FanDuel or a DraftKings, kind of a market leader, there's very real potential that you could look at this new tax rate and say, look, it's just not worth it to continue operating in Louisiana at 32.5. But, to your point about the resistance, that misconception, we also partner with local casinos. So every single online sports book has a partner with at least one of the casinos. Some have up to 3 where they have retail books. They market together. It's kind of a symbiotic relationship. where we help them reach a new demographic that probably might not, stumble into a casino on their own, but they're able to cross-market through us, through our apps, and, offer incentives to get people into the books. So it's really, and we also share revenue with the casinos. So anything that is going to make life harder for the online books is also going to have a downstream effect on the local casinos. So we're working with them to make sure that we're all making that message clear to the legislature. The most important thing we can do, though, is really just have our customers across the state reach out. Let your legislator know that this is not something that's just going to fly across without any resistance. And we've had a great response. If I can put a plug in, we have a website.
Absolutely.
It's betonla.org. We've got plenty of information there on what the bill does, how it affects the industry. And also there's a tool to allow you to reach out to your legislator, through email or a phone call, and let them know that, this really does affect, everyday people.
Absolutely. betonla.org. betonla.org for all of that. And so I'm looking at it right now. So some links on how to send it to the lawmakers, and there you go. It's easy. It comes up on the main page, and you can fill out your information and send it along. Pretty easy to do so. So great stuff, Sean. We appreciate it because, again, this is going to be a tough one. This will be a big upset if they can stop this, but we will certainly do our part as part of the show, and certainly our listening audience who likes to frequent the sports betting sites as well. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate the time.
All right. So Sean Ostra with the Sports Betting Alliance, and that is Monday. That goes down Monday. So it's pretty simple to do. You would think like, okay, I'm going to write a letter, but the letter's already written out. You just got to fill out your name, email, your phone, your information, your contact information, and hit send. And so it is, we all get boosts and bonuses and perks and things like that, and that's going to do it. They also, guess what they do? We sell advertising on this show. How is that going to affect it? It's going to affect it. There's no doubt. So does the advertising budget, like our friends over at the Queen, does that affect them? So it's going to be a lot of different trickle down. So we'll see about it. See, 15 to 32.5, Charlie.
That's a pretty big hike. Percentage-wise,
plus they're taking away some of the exemptions on the boosts and things like that. So that's an added.
Oh yeah, so
right now you get exempt from that. I believe this bill.
You said that it's tax exempt, but now if
that would be included, that would also be taxed. So that's another boost on top of that.
That's where your boosts are going to go away. So
yeah,
lose the exception on that.
Yeah, so that would definitely take that away. Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance. We've been trying to tell you, now it's hot, okay? It's hot, and here's our deal at Total Maintenance. Same day service today, every day. Same day service means you'll never sleep hot when you call our friends at Total Maintenance. 480-1000. We're one of South Louisiana's oldest. We're one of the largest AC and heating companies since 1980. Factory authorized dealers for Carrier, American Standard, Dakin, and Rheem products. No problem there as well. We cover both the Baton Rouge and metropolitan New Orleans areas. We have a different staff and offices in both. They do not overlap our coverage in the New Orleans or Baton Rouge markets. But in Baton Rouge, it's 480-1000. 480-1000. It's real simple. If it breaks down, call the folks that support us here on Live at Lunch. And again, it's Total Maintenance, 480-1000. Service today, every day means nobody goes to sleep hot.
Live at Los Reyes, Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Los Reyes Mexican Grill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
They're also brought to you in part by the Thibodeau Store. You know, we talk about Father's Day and a lot of the things that you can get at the Thibodeau Store for Father's Day, but for Mother's Day as well, this Cypress furniture is always a very popular and unique gift. So you can get it at both the Thibodeau Store and at the Pierre Part Store. We're talking about the Cypress swings, the Cypress gliders,
very
the Cypress
popular
rockers. Yeah, it's some really cool stuff, and you know you're not going to get this anywhere else exactly like they make it. So if you're looking for a gift for Mom, what do I get, Mom? The Cypress swings, the gliders, the rockers are all real popular, and we'll be talking about some of those things for Father's Day as well. But the Cypress furniture is in big supply at both Thibodeau and Pierre Part.
Oh, that's great. You're taking Mom out to lunch, all right, to dinner. All right, come on. Taking us an extra step.
Bring you something.
Yes. I mean, these are really, really, perfect under the tree, the patio, and things like that, in the shade. And it's just, it looks so good. It's unique, too. You can go check them out. They've got a great display, both at the Thibodeau Store and the Pierre Part Store.
900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online doitbest.com/
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Thibodeau Store.
2-0 Pirates now. O'Neal Cruz, RBI double. So Skeens again with a 1-0 lead in the fourth.
Absolute explosion by the Pirates offense. I want to take a look because this is going to be a topic that's going to be batted about a lot this summer, a lot this fall, and even more next spring. So this is kind of a first look. When we were talking about quarterbacks in this year's draft, almost universally everybody said weak quarterback class, the class next year will be better. We'll keep a close eye on that because of Garrett Nussmeier, of course. Two way too early mock drafts give us at least an early glimpse of what this might look like. ESPN's Jordan Reed did one, and Todd McShay, formerly of ESPN, did one. I want to say that neither one of these drafts include Arch Manning. Okay, so if Arch Manning goes into the draft, then that's it's a whole different thing. But both of them have 4 quarterbacks going in the top 10. Both of them have the same 4 quarterbacks going in the top 10, but the orders are different. So, Jimmy, you've seen all 4 of these guys play, and you can tell me which one of them you like the best. You can give me the order in which, and then I will give you the order of the 2 mock drafts that they're in. And the 4 quarterbacks are Garrett Nussmeier is one of them, Drew Allar from Penn State, Lenore Sellers from South Carolina, and Cade Klubnik from Clemson. And, of course, Klubnik and Nussmeier, those 2 teams face off in the season opener. If you were a GM, which order would you put those 4 in? Going into their last year.
Nussmeier and Sellers 1-2. I'm not sure about Allaire and Klubnik. Completely different types of quarterbacks. I'm not an Allaire guy. I'm sorry. He's, he didn't show, and that's the difference. We've seen him in his second year starting.
Yeah,
we're waiting to see on on Sellers and Nussmeier. Klubnik, we've seen him start multiple years as well. I don't know about his size translating to the next level. He did, I know at least Allar's got the measurables, size and arm strength, but his decision making, especially when you had a safety valve like the tight end, Tyler Warren, how many those are gone? He gets credit for how many yards after the catch did the guy have? That he gets, he gets credit for. How many balls, kind of just throw up balls, just throw them up anywhere near his direction. He's coming down with. Those are some real easy throws that he gets a lot of mileage out statistically. So, Sellers, this is if he develops the way I expect him to develop. He's got a little ways to go. He's still more athlete first than thrower, But we saw some progress made. And we saw some inconsistencies. We saw inconsistencies with Nussmeier in his second year starting. He's got to clean some things up. But the normal pace of development, he should. And I think that I like the I love the arm talent, and he's waited his turn. He's been patient. He's been, I'm sorry, but it's a little bit of the teams, the NFL teams are just a little bit, okay, why are you transferring? Why are you transferring again? And you just stay put. It kind of helps you.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows some stability. It shows that, they're a little bit content instead of I'm worried about more the next level making money instead of making as much as I can right now. And I'm not faulting people who are trying to benefit financially from their college situation, but when you got your hand out, you're just going to 4 different schools in 4 years, it's going to hurt you. You might score more now, but you kind of making it harder on yourself long term. So there's a lot of things. Klubnik, I think there's a little bit of a ceiling there. Allaire, can he get better with his? Yeah, he can, but damn. I've seen enough of him in year 2, so I'm not sure about 3 or 4. But Nussmeier and Sellers would be 1, 2. But they've got to develop. They got to continue to develop. I'm not basing it. If they have a duplicate season that they did this past year, no, I would be concerned.
My 4 would be pretty easy, and it would be Allaire. I think he's stiff. Is the word that
he is stiff.
That's the word that comes to mind when I watch him play. It's not that he doesn't have the big arm. He can do he can make all the throws and things like that. He just looks stiff to me. I may feel differently.
It's another Penn State quarterback that he reminds me of, and that's the word. I didn't say that, but Charlie, I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
He's just kind of stiff, and maybe I'll feel differently if he makes a jump this year.
Can you guess the Penn State former quarterback that he reminds me of a little bit? Great measurables, drafted high, but kind of robotic.
Todd Blackledge?
No.
Not back that far.
He wasn't that big.
Christian Hackenberg? No.
Kerry Collins.
Kerry Collins, okay. Yeah, that's true. And, of course, Collins had all the off-the-field stuff that derailed him. But, yeah, he's just a little bit stiff. Nussmeier would be one for me. I'm trying not to be a homer on this. I was actually surprised. I felt like Nussmeier is physically bigger than Klubnik. Actually, Klubnik is listed at the same height and 10 pounds heavier than Nussmeier. That's not what I would have picked. I would have been a little bit off on that. I think Nussmeier's got a little bit more arm talent than Klubnik. Klubnik's obviously a much better athlete and ability to run. Sellers is a wild card for me. I love him. Watching him play, I think his upside is tremendous. I think he made a lot of strides last year. The ESPN piece compares him to Donovan McNabb, not the Donovan McNabb that you saw as a polished NFL quarterback with the Philadelphia Eagles, but Donovan McNabb after his second year at Syracuse.
That's a fair comparison.
I think it is, because you have to think about McNabb when he was at Syracuse, and he was a very big running threat at that time. Maybe not as much as Sellers. But
McNabb was I think McNabb was more of a running threat in the pros too than Klubnik will be. But anyway,
than Klubnik, yeah. But Sellers, I think he's probably a little bit better runner than McNabb was at that point. Not as good as, say, Cam Newton.
I don't know about that.
He's a load, man. I like him an awful lot.
McNabb was pretty damn big too.
He was a big guy. I think it's a fair comparison.
It's okay.
I would probably take Sellers in front of Klubnik just on. I'd roll the
Matt,
dice
so you
a little bit more.
Real quick.
I think Nussmeier is the safest option, and I still was critical of him last year. I would say
it's the first year starting. They're going to have some inconsistencies.
And a lot of these guys, I don't know about Lenore Sellers. I'd probably put him 4th right now with the opportunity to be the highest guy. He has the most boom or bust potential going into this year.
I agree with that.
I think he could. I think he. Yeah,
I can't put him 2nd right now. I don't know yet. We don't know enough about him. So I would probably say Nussmeier, Klubnik, Aller, Sellers.
I saw Sellers this season, though, in season develop. And that's what I'm shooting. That 2-point conversion against Alabama was atrocious. And there were some others where, he was lighting it up. So highly inconsistent. But, yeah, if he puts it together, I think he's got the highest ceiling.
Here's what the experts said. Reed at ESPN has Klubnik as the number 1 pick in the draft. Sellers is the number 4 pick in the draft. Nussmeier is the number 7 pick in the draft. Alar is the number 8 pick in the draft, which he picks to the Saints, by the way. And McShay has
Nussmeier number 1 overall. Sellers 4th. Klubnik 5th. And then Drew Alar to the Raiders at 7.
So very, very similar in their the height of the first round, but different order for the two.
Not only is my parboiled rice from Supreme Rice my favorite rice and a restaurant quality type of rice, and it's tried so hard and long to do it, but it's also packed with all kinds of vitamins. Yes, indeed. So nutrients similar to our brown rice. You're getting the same type of nutrients that you get from our brown rice, which is healthier for you. It's got great results. I mean, whether it's a jambalaya, your red beans, your white beans, gravies, rice and gravy too, you name it, man, your stews, it is outstanding. Available in 5-pound, 25-pound, and 50-pound bags. So for that big jambalaya on-site cook with the your jambalaya cooker and burner from the Thibodeau store, or if you're just cooking at home for your Monday red beans and rice with either your chicken or fish. Again, it's available at all of your area, most of your area grocery stores. Wherever you find your Supreme Rice products, look for the parboiled, enriched long-grain rice from Supreme Rice.
Live at Los Reyes, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Los Reyes Mexican Grill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Cubbies put 3 on the board off of Skeens. It's 3 earned runs in the game against Skeens. He's only done that once this year, and last year in all of those starts he only gave up more than 3 earned runs or more 3 times. So it's not often that you see Skeens give up this many runs, but the Cubbies put a 3 spot on the board.
So how?
I did not.
3 bombs.
3 home runs?
3 home runs.
No, I definitely didn't see
that.
Yeah,
Suzuki, Dansby Swanson, and Kyle Tucker. Tucker in that 1-year deal from the Astros is having an MVP type of season so far.
If you can manage to square it up, it's got a lot of velocity. It'll go a long way.
Damn.
But that's
so that 2-0 lead's gone. It's 3-2 Cubbies now.
Thanks to the folks here at Los Reyes for being our guests. We'll be
Cinco
at
de Mayo, man.
Cinco de Mayo on Friday. We're at Rufino's tomorrow, our usual Friday spot. For Max and Jimmy, I'm Charles.
Cinco de Mayo is Monday.
That's what I said.
You said Friday.
I said we'll be at Rufino's.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.